Hello and welcome to episode 3 of the Special Moves podcast. My name is Mike Williams and these guys are Jake Kulkowski and Liam McKelvey.
Yeah, they are.
Hello. How are you doing, fellas?
We're good, thanks, Mike. Thank you very much for asking.
As
a collective, we're a collective now because we're sharing a mic.
Yes.
We're trying to figure out the best way to reduce echo, and our new technique is me and Liam share a mic.
Yes.
But that also means we now share opinions, thoughts, everything. So as a collective, I can confirm we're okay. How are you?
Can Liam be the spokesperson for you?
Okay. Well, if you mention the Spider-Man in a bit, don't worry. Me and Liam will...
The Spider-Man?
I'm sorry, I asked how you were.
This is off to a banging start already.
Anymore.
This is the Special Moves podcast where we talk about video games and stuff every single week. This is only the 3rd episode, but we're already changing up the format as Jake and Liam, I guess.
Yeah,
we have to refer to you collectively.
Can you please refer to us as the Syndicate?
As the Syndicate have just gratefully explained. We're trying to just tweak the setup and stuff. And we're actually recording this one in my dining room instead of my spare bedroom this time. Hopefully that doesn't ruin the illusion.
We're changing the rooms and we're also changing the mic stuff because we've got a lot better quality in the second podcast than in the first one, and hopefully this doesn't revert back. But thanks for your patience. You guys have been very nice about the podcast in general.
Yes.
So here's another one.
Awesome.
What have we got on the agenda?
Let's not disappoint you. So we're going to talk about a little bit of news, a couple of stories that I've seen this week that I want to talk about, basically. And then we're going to talk about Spider-Man, which me and Liam have been playing.
We have.
I stayed up till 1 a.m. last night playing Spider-Man with Laura, trying to cram it in, basically, so I could play as much of it as possible. And I am exhausted this morning as a result. We've also got a little bit of a new kind of section, I guess. We're going to go run through, I think it's a nice idea every single week, because we're coming out on a Monday every week, to run through all the releases that are coming out that week, right? Obviously, it's not going to be doable, and there's not going to be a lot to talk about every week, but for now, up until Christmas, it's going to be... there's going to be stuff.
Busy.
Yeah.
I was just looking through the news basically, and I noticed that there was a lot of stuff. So I'm going to try and do that every single week and do like a what's coming, one to watch kind of thing every single week at the end of the podcast. So that's coming up as well. So first up, let's talk about Kingdoms of Amalur. Do you guys know about the story? What do you know about this story?
I do know about this story.
Yeah, I know about the story.
Tell me what you know.
I only know what you and Liam know, and that is that it's for what is widely considered a slept-on classic. People who played this game either loved the concept of it and thought it wasn't that polished, or think like, whoa, people don't really give this the credit it deserves. And I know that there's a very exciting story about the how it got made, the creation of it, and that's about as much as I do know. And in fact, actually, I know that it's been, THQ Nordic have done a bit of necromancy on it, and.
As in brought it back from the dead?
Oh yeah.
Right,
Come
okay,
on.
Sorry. I just want to make it clear.
Yeah. So THQ Nordic, masters of resurrection, like to buy dead franchises and then do alright with them.
Yeah.
So they've brought this back now, and a lot of people are like, whoa, because this is the game that no one expected to come back.
Yes.
Exactly.
And so you guys played it a bit.
I did a lot.
Educate me.
Liam?
Well, it is an action RPG designed by... Was it 38 Studios? Is that what they were called?
38 Studios. Well, yeah, 38? I guess I was calling them 38, but I guess 38.
I don't know how you pronounce it. But anyway, it was like one of the most ambitious games ever, really, wasn't it? It was meant to be like this huge RPG, like open world, lots of action-based combat, lots of customization.
Yeah, I
mean...
Just
massive in every regard.
I mean, yes, action-based combat is no joke. That's probably the best thing about it. Easily the best thing about it, actually. It's very good combat system.
Yes.
Where it's very, traditional rogue, tank, mage, ranged kind of setup.
Right.
But there's a bit of fluidity between them, and it's all like heavily action-based. So it plays like...
Yeah.
Unlike any other RPG, really, because it's more. I guess I don't want to make any comparisons, but it feels, from my memory, a bit more like almost like Devil May Cry or something like that.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay.
Lots of combos and stuff like that.
Exactly, and you're like slicing through them, and you're like sliding past them and stuff, and then it's a lot of like
quite fast paced.
Yeah, it's very very fast paced and very kind of cool to look at, right? And it's got this this Molyneux idea, the Peter Molyneux idea in Fable 2. I think he was going on about this a lot, where every button means Y means ranged, X means it kind of had that, but it was actually really good. Like it was something it was doing something with it where every button did something different. So you could like batter people, shoot them with some bow, and it was like the way the combos built up naturally. Great, right? It's a really good game. So THQ Nordic, as you said, has acquired the Kingdoms of Amalur IP. That's what's happened, and it's a very limited announcement. They've just said we own Kingdoms of Amalur now, and the associated Amalur, or I think it's the Amalur or Reckoning, one of the words in the name anyway.
Yeah.
They own the associated stuff to that, which means heavily built up MMO, which never saw the light of day. Which was called Copernicus, or codenamed Copernicus, and that was never made. It was never, And then a lot of people are saying because of how MMO-ish Kingdoms of Amalur is, that it was kind of, maybe
like a proof of concept, sort of.
Yeah. So they've acquired the rights to all of this stuff, which firstly I'm really happy with. I hope first and foremost that they get Kingdoms of Amalur on more platforms, because I'm not sure if it's on current gen, is it? I don't know if it's
on PC. But
yeah,
that would have been the original one.
Yeah, it's definitely on PC. I mean, I've got it in my Origin library.
Yeah, same.
And you can. I don't think it's on PS4 or Xbox One.
I don't think so.
I would hope that the first port of call is get it on the PlayStation 4, PlayStation N Store, and the Microsoft Xbox equivalent, and get it. Get it on the Switch, get it everywhere you can, because it needs to be played.
And there's just one thing THQ Nordic are good at: it's getting games on everything you can possibly get them on.
Oh my god! To their credit, THQ Nordic smash it. Yeah, when it comes to like that, letting everyone feel involved, they're very good at that. With Kingdom of Amalur, there's a story behind it, isn't there?
Yes, I can tell you exactly what it was.
It's something with baseball or something in it.
It is something to do with baseball or something. That's right, Jake. So I firstly, I'm very excited about this. It was a very that this is happening at all, because it's quite a sad story, and it's quite it basically involves a lot of money and a game. Despite the fact it sold like 1.5 million copies, which, for a kind of RPG that's a pretty hardcore in some ways.
A new IP as well.
Yeah. It just didn't sell enough. And apparently what happened was 3H Studios was founded by Major League Baseball player Curt Schilling. And the game was a commercial disappointment. Even though the problem is it was funded through a $75 million loan that was guaranteed by the state of Rhode Island. So if they didn't pay the loan back, then Rhode Island had to foot the bill, which they did have to, right? And then, so it ends up in this whole messy situation. 3H Studios goes bankrupt. This baseball player, I had thought that he was basically ruined, right? But he seems still like really active, and he seems like he's okay. He's doing all right for himself, kind of thing. But I thought he was completely ruined. So I don't know exactly what has gone on in his personal thing. But the impression I got was that he personally was ruined financially as well, despite being a retired baseball star.
Yeah.
So the game just doesn't sell enough. Rhode Island said that it needed to sell 3 million copies just to break even, which it didn't do. So now THQ Nordic has announced it, and that it's acquired it, and that was from it was one of the weird holdovers, because when 3H Studios went down, when they were bankrupt, all their assets were auctioned off. And so apparently, I guess, no one bought Kingdoms of Amalur, or if someone did, they just bought it to have it.
Just sit on it.
Yeah, and because there's literally no details from THQ Nordic other than we now have it. Not like who it's come from or whatever. And so that means that they've got the rights to do this MMO that's never seen the light of day. They've got the rights to re-release Kingdoms of Amalur and maybe do a sequel and whatever. It's got a lot of potential as an IP, because it was. I mean, the universe and the lore and stuff was written by some guy who was like a New York Times best-selling kind of author or something.
Isn't it like R.A. Salvatore or something like
that? Yeah, I can't remember his name.
Fantasy author.
Yeah, that's right. He's kind of he's a bit of a figure, and that's you get the idea of where a lot of this money was going, because they were trying to,
they had a lot of good high-profile people on board.
It seems like an interesting story. A baseball player has a dream of making a game. Rhode Island, which means it's like taxpayer money. Were funding it. They had best-selling authors writing it. The story surrounding this game is like documentary worthy, first of all, and the game itself. Like
Daniel Dwyer, get on it. That's a no clip I'd want to see, man.
It seems like a really interesting one, but the thing is, I suppose it's got probably left a bad taste in everyone's mouth. Everybody involved, really. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because it kind of led to a lot of ruin. So like most good RPG stories, actually.
Yeah.
I played a lot of Western RPGs. I'm quite into them, but I haven't played this one. And to hear everybody who speaks about it, it's like everyone who played it has got good stuff to say about it. That's the thing.
What I'll say is, it's not like it's not like a 10 out of 10 like all time or anything. It's not like that. It's just like a really good 8 out of 10. It just kind of, because you feel it was that good and it just failed so miserably, and no, you feel like no one's played it, right? That's kind of why people preach about it, I guess, because they feel like, you should play it. It definitely had its problems. It wasn't like a perfect game at all. I mean, the MMO-ish stuff was probably the worst thing about it for me, because it had like mobs that respawned.
Yeah, had a lot of fetch quests as well. Like, go here, get 10 sheepskins, bring them back.
This is what you guys are saying about it being a bit like an MMO, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So it's massive. The world is enormous. There's a lot of running, and there's massive open areas. So one of the very early places I remember is like this foresty kind of area, and there's a lot of wolves kind of thing, right? And then the wolves just keep respawning. It's like World of Warcraft. It's just that you kill them, you run, you come back in like a minute, and they're back. It's like that, and you kind of feel like you're not really getting anywhere. But that aside, there's a lot of good stuff there. Mm-hmm. I mean, perhaps the biggest thing was like the combat, as I've already said. It is unlike anything you get in this genre. It had this nice spin as well in storytelling terms of the RPG trope, which is, in RPGs you're always like the destined one, you're always the fated one, you're always the chosen one, your destiny is thinking for. Well, in this they've completely spin it on its head, and you're the only one in the world who has no destiny or no fate, which means you have agency over your life and you can make decisions.
That's cool.
Kind of, because that is what makes you special is the fact that you don't have a destiny.
So
or
you're the
fate.
Chosen one because you're not the chosen one.
Exactly. Yeah. You're I think it's fateless or something like that. They call you in the game, which is cool. Yeah, exactly. It's a really nice kind of spin on it. So there's interesting stuff in there. There's a lot of generic shit in there, but there's a lot of.
It seems like more reasons to go out and play it than not. So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with this.
I mean, if you're on PC, you're already a winner. You can get it like dirt cheap, probably.
I got the complete edition of it with all the DLC for like £4.
All right, okay.
On a Steam sale.
Sounds about right, yeah.
I'll do that. Right. And if you're listening from Rhode Island, you're welcome. That's me. I'll get it.
Yeah, where's the money going now? I don't know. I mean, EA published it.
Did they?
But they didn't.
They published it, but they didn't own any of the rights or anything.
Yeah,
they just distributed.
They just like shipped the copies.
Maybe there's an EA Sports baseball connection there. Do you know? No, genuinely, you know what I mean? Because EA have a lot of talks with a lot of sports companies. Do you know what I mean? And they're very business minded like that. So it could be something like that. It seems very interesting. Like, I'm intrigued.
Yeah,
It's like Jake's curiosity hour here. I'm asking that because I know I'm like, ooh, what's this about? But hopefully this is what people.
Only you can listen to two other people talking for a quarter of an hour and still call it Jake's something.
No, because I'm just concerned that my only input is asking you questions. Do you know what I mean? Like, I'm not agreeing with you. Every time I'm like, but why? I'm like an annoying child. So Kingdoms of Amalur.
I can't believe it's Jake's curiosity hour. Me and Liam talking about a game.
The problem with you two is you're just not me.
You could work in like political spin, mate. You'd be really good at that.
Yeah.
That's well funny. So the bottom line is, anyway, it was a big, meaty game. Had bags of potential. Yeah. Not enough people played it. You can still play it now. Hopefully it'll come out on PS4 different platforms or anything. Yeah. Maybe there will be a sequel. The thing is, the interesting ideas were I feel like they would have been closely, like in Fable or something like that. The interesting ideas come from the design team. So if they do something again, hopefully they do get a lot of the core people back to try and do it. And that's But the fact that anything's happened with it at all is great news. And I'm glad to see that people are talking about it on the internet again, because it's a cool game. It's a cool game. So the next thing I wanted to talk about was Geralt. Remember Geralt? He was in the
Is he the guy that goes...
He goes...
Fella?
Yeah, that guy. Miserable, about 6 foot.
Yeah.
Grey hair.
Roach.
2 swords.
That's
2 swords.
right.
Yeah. Always looking for Ciri. What about him?
What did he say about... What colour was her hair? Ashen hair. He keeps saying ashen hair.
Yeah.
Geralt, that fella. He's from The Witcher, right? Henry Cavill is going to be Geralt.
Yeah.
That came out this week. And, first of all, there's more to this, but first of all, what do you think of that? Henry Cavill Superman is going to be Geralt of Rivia.
There's 3 camps, and you're in one of these 3 camps. 1, believer. 2, Hang on.
I feel like you're selling me these camps.
1, you're a believer and you just don't doubt it. 2, you're doubtful. And 3, you've seen Mission Impossible Fallout, so you go, oh.
Yeah,
That's
okay.
it.
So that articulates quite nicely where the three of us are on this, I guess, because I haven't seen Mission Impossible Fallout, and I think this is bad. I think Cavill as Geralt is bad.
You're wrong.
You two
Yeah.
have both seen Mission Impossible Fallout,
Yeah.
which stars Henry Cavill as a guy with a mustache or something.
Yeah.
And apparently that's good enough to convince you.
August Walker, he's called.
Yeah, he's a
my
he's a certified
God.
badass.
August Walker.
I'm pretty
The
sure that's his name.
detective from a 1930s comic book.
I'm pretty sure
He could
that's
play
his
that
name.
role as well, mate.
Detective August Walker.
It's listen, there's a thing about it. There's a certain scene in Mission Impossible Fallout where you see Henry Cavill.
Everyone's seen this. If you've seen the trailer, you've seen it.
Yeah, Henry Cavill.
Do you mean the scene that's now a GIF?
Yes.
Oh, I wasn't actually on about that specific one.
Okay,
but,
sorry.
Oh,
But
well, that one as well.
There's a scene where he's cut up, like, he's having a scrap,
Okay.
and he's already covered in dirt and blood, and he's not looking like his Man of Steel, pristine Clark Kent hair.
He's got a bit of a scruffy beard
He's
going
got
on.
yeah, exactly. He's got a beard. He's looking rough and ready. He's
just
looking like a
looking
big, powerful bro.
He's
man.
just looking like your average, enormously, massively muscular man.
Yes. And you go, oh, okay. He's. I mean, hang on a minute.
Geralt
hang on.
material. Is he?
What nuance is there to Geralt's performance? Be gruff. Be manly as fuck. Have hair. Anyone can have Geralt's hair because that's a wig.
Yeah.
Have weird eyes. That's just contact lenses. What about Geralt's performance?
That's just, imagine they were casting must have weird eyes. Contact lens is not an option.
No, contact lenses are exactly the thing. Nothing about Geralt that can't be superficially added on in terms
Yes.
of outfit and stuff is particularly nuanced.
Okay.
That Henry Cavill couldn't do. You don't have to be Daniel Day-Lewis to play Geralt, do you? It's just like going and then going.
I'd like to see Daniel Day-Lewis playing Geralt, first of all. But I think for me, it's purely kind of purely cosmetic, aesthetic thing. Like, he just doesn't seem... Geralt seems wiry and kind of... I don't know, there's something... He's a bit like... You know, like the janitor from Harry Potter. I can't remember what his name is. Filch. He's like
also Walder Frey in it.
Like, that's right, Walder Frey. He's kind of that gaunt and kind of strong in a wiry kind of way.
It's sinewy. I always call people like that. Like, there's no fat. He's not stacked.
And world weary, and crucially, world weary.
Yeah.
So he looks like he has seen and killed some shit, right?
Yeah.
Whereas Cavill is very
Protein shake.
Yes, he looks like he's built in a gym, and I mean,
I see what you're saying.
I just feel like he's a bit too glossy. Obviously, you can do something about that. I mean, they CGI'd away his fucking mustache, so they can do that in a film. They can make him look a bit more like Geralt. I
Eat
guess.
less eggs for a couple of months.
Yeah,
and
just
you'll be all right.
lay off the tuna for a bit. But he's so that's the only thing that's kind of not the right fit. But anyway, that's not the main thing I wanted to talk about.
Oh.
The main thing is that the Geralt voice actor, so the guy who's actually voiced
Doug Cockle or whatever.
Doug
is it?
Cockle, he's given Geralt his distinctive, flat, gravelly kind of voice in all three Witcher games.
You've heard some great impressions of that over the past 10 minutes.
Yes, thank you very much. And he has given his blessing, effectively, to Henry Cavill.
Exactly. Case closed. But go on.
I'm not arguing again. I'm not that invested. I just think.
Do you know what? Do you know what's funny? Me neither.
I'm interested. I mean, I do really like The Witcher, and I'm interested in watching the TV series. So, because all I've had is the game. I've not read the books, and I've not seen any other whatever the original Polish TV series.
You know what? That's something. There might be a lot more to Geralt if you've read the books.
Exactly.
And you know what? I've got to be honest. I haven't read them, and if there's anybody listening to this that has. Please, honestly, that's no, because like Jaime Lannister in Game of Thrones, right? In the books, he's dead different.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of facade and cockiness that you see in the first series or two of Jaime, right? But then eventually you get to see him who he is now. Actually, Nikolai Coster-Waldau was one of the favourites to play.
Which, again, and that's the kind of thing where he's not like this Superman. I mean, I know he literally was Superman, but he's not like this massive beefcake kind of thing. Yeah. So anyway, Doug Cockle, Geralt, the voice actor, who, by the way, is like actually not a full-time voice actor. He's like a university lecturer.
He's a lecturer, right?
Yeah, which is just... Oh, man, I wish I was that cool. So anyway, he says, Cavill, I think he's going to be great. He's going to have a blast, right? So he fully is behind him. And then there was a bit of a backlash online to Cavill's casting. And about that, he says, quote, if they've read the books and played the games, they'll have a very specific idea of what this world is. Nobody likes change, and the reality is this is going to be a different Witcher. It'll have visual differences, it'll have behavioural differences, but it's going to be awesome. So he is fully behind Cavill, and also kind of saying, you know, it's an interpretation of it. It's not going to be exactly the same as what you know and love. I think it's really interesting that he's even said anything. He was speaking to the BBC, by the way. That's where these quotes come from.
Oh, okay.
I think it's really interesting that he's even said anything. And I wonder what it feels like if you're a voice actor, like if you're David Hayter or something, and you are almost synonymous. He's not a well-known voice actor, this guy. He's just well-known as Geralt, right? If you know, I wonder how he feels knowing that this is like his character. But then along comes, like, you know, Henry Cavill, who's playing him in a TV series.
Like he's saying there, this is an interpretation of it.
Exactly.
And it's almost like you could say, he's saying, and if you're a real Witcher fan, you know where to stay, right here. You know what I mean?
Do you think? Yeah.
Like, I think it's kind of, it's important to think that. It's like loads of actors that do Shakespeare, loads of people do have different takes on Macbeth and stuff like that. I'm not saying that you need the same amount of skill to play Geralt that you need to play Macbeth or whatever, but I'm saying it's like you're going to have different versions of it, and there's a Frankenstein film every 10 years and they're all dead different, and I think that's what it'll be. It's going to be different. It's going to be for the Netflix crowd. It's of course, this is weird. We've now got 3 layers of snobbery. Everyone knows the films are never as good as the books. Everyone knows that. So now it's like the books are the best, then it's the games, and then it's the TV shows. So now we're gonna have game snobs, like poo-pooing the TV show, and then we're going to have at the very top book snobs poo-pooing on the game snobs that are on there.
I'm sorry to do this, but snobception.
Snobception. I like that. Yeah.
That's you're totally right, because everyone's looking down on each other in like different circles. But
what happens is, and this is a thing to remember, you're getting spoiled. One of the most beloved games of the decade is being made into a huge, high-budget TV show. So finally, all the people that just think there's some video game playing dweeb, like your mum and dad, are maybe going to love it. Yeah. Like, who thought that Game of Thrones was going to be as big as it is? If The Witch got that big, it's only a good thing. And think of the people that made the series, and think of the hard work that's gone into it. It's only a good thing. But what I do want to know is, and I don't know if you guys have maybe heard anyone to come up with any suggestions. Like, there's people I know that, like, I don't think Henry Cavill's going to make it good. I don't know. Have you seen any other suggestions? Like
for Geralt?
Yeah.
Oh my lord!
I've seen Ants and Mount, and that was like,
that's
a
very There's a lot of them. There's a long list, and that's I think where a lot of surprises come from, because Cavill was like nowhere near.
No, I don't think anyone would have guessed Henry Cavill would play Geralt.
And I think there was a couple of actors. There was people that were saying that they were interested in playing him, if I remember rightly. There were some actors that were saying, Viggo
Mortensen and shit like that. And when you go a bit older, because Geralt in The Witcher 3 is a bit older, so people
it's meant to be a bit grizzled.
Some people like Mads Mikkelsen and stuff like that. Which, come on, man.
Mads Mikkelsen for every role.
Firstly, yes, but secondly, that would have been really good. But Geralt, like we were talking about the books, he's a young-ish kind of guy. For a lot of it, even when you go back to like The Witcher 1 and The Witcher 2, Witcher 1 he's quite, definitely in comparison to The Witcher 3 anyway, he's a more youthful kind of figure.
You haven't seen as much shit, has he? So.
No, but his voice is exactly the same.
Exactly. So I wonder, that's the thing with Geralt though, he's the voice. That's like the main thing. If you get that voice wrong, oh dear.
What they should do is Henry Cavill, but get Doug Cockle to do the voice.
Just like ADR over him.
Yeah, exactly. Just do the moustache magic on his mouth and put Doug Cockle's mouth there.
You've already got the template.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
It's pretty big news, isn't it? And if anything, it's just video games becoming subject of discussion. That was a quote that you just got that was on BBC.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's a Netflix series. It's cool to see a game like The Witcher 3. The Witcher series in general, I mean, you just get this huge mainstream appeal, but just remember to all the cool kids out there, we are there when it was cool, and when it's mainstream, try not to be too gatekeepy and remember when it was just a game. You got that.
One other thing that Doug Cockle said as well is that he hopes that Cavill doesn't try to recreate his performance, because he has to do his own thing with it, which is, I guess, something that actors say a lot. And he said that Cavill already has the body for it and the youth to do the stunts. Which
so the action scenes should be great if Mission Impossible's anything to go by.
Geralt's certainly got his own kind of fighting style.
That's interesting,
Yeah, so that's going to be really, how they capture that, without having a just full-on stuntman the size of Henry Cavill doing it, because
Henry Cavill does his own stunts, I think.
Yeah.
That's a very specific. Yeah, I feel like you're going to need a proper martial artist who really knows how to use a sword to pull off the kind of spinning and the rolling and stuff.
This guy needs to watch Mission Impossible 4,
I mean,
doesn't
he doesn't need a sword. Just punch him.
Punch.
Seeing that movie.
See,
That's
you're
the-
ruining the
that's-
law.
punch a griffin in the neck. Good night. Yeah, that's going to be the interpretation.
Check that in the bestiary. Punch in the neck. Weakness.
Weak against punch.
So there you go. Doug Cockle as well. On a last note, I'll leave it on this then, on this topic. If we all just give him the space to do his thing and give that team our support, they're going to come up with something awesome that will go, this is different, but you know what? It's cool. So he's just trying to get everyone to chill out a little bit, I guess, and embrace the Cav.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like we've kind of touched on though. It's just cool that it's happening, isn't it? It's just great that it's happening. So brilliant. So here's a new segment then. I think I'm going to call this the least breaking news of the week.
Oh, okay.
Can we have a jingle, please? So this is an explosive headline in the MCV website, on the MCV website this week, that says the new Rainbow Six Siege update incentivizes two-factor authentication. Here's a quote from the article. Account holders for the game are being nudged in the direction of the improved security measure. Basically, you log in, receive a notification on your smartphone, enter a code from the phone, and you're on the go with the offer of an in-game reward. So that was a news headline. Again, the headline was Rainbow Six Siege update incentivizes two-factor authentication.
I like the gentle nudge in there. You know what I mean? Not a push.
It sounds silly, but that is a good thing.
Yeah.
Account security is never a bad thing
Listen,
to talk
I'm not
about.
passing judgment. I'm just saying there's a lot of news, right?
Yeah.
Something like that might easily get overlooked.
Not with this in place.
Not with this, right?
No.
So this is the new segment that I'm going to try and do every single week. Just a story that feels very low stakes.
Deep
Refined.
cut journalism.
Yes.
Yeah. It's for the thinking man, isn't it? That?
It is for the thinking man. So that was the new segment, the least breaking news of the week. Now let's move on to what we've been playing. Liam, Spider-Man.
Yes, lots of it. It's great. I really like it.
I mean, tell me about the swinging.
Well, what do you want to know? It's great. It's bloody wonderful. It took me probably about an hour to adjust to the controls, but once I'd done that,
Yeah.
it's great.
1 hour to become Spider-Man, though. It's not bad, is it?
It's not
Do
a
you know what I
bad going, that, but
Good skills.
it is really good. It's momentum based and physics based, and you can pull off some nice little tricks.
That's it.
You can zip about a city at 100, well, probably not hundreds of miles an hour.
I don't know.
But
He's pretty
do go
fast.
pretty fast.
He's pretty fast. I've been playing it as well. So this is the new Spider-Man PS4 game from Insomniac Games. It came out on September the 7th. It's called, actually, Marvel's Spider-Man.
In case you forgot who Spider-Man belongs to.
Yeah, not to be confused with
the other one.
Spider-Man that belongs to Marvel. So there's a lot of web swinging in it, and there's a lot of open world game design stuff in it.
There's towers.
Yeah, I mean the reviews were really strong for it, right? And they were like proper positive.
Yeah, it was like 8s and 9s.
Yes, everywhere. And I think it's about 88 or something like that on Metacritic.
High 80s, yeah.
Yeah, and based on what I've seen, I've played a few hours, a good few hours, because it only came out. We're recording this on a Saturday. It only came out on Friday. It's kind of, I've had to squash in the game time to get it played. But I think so far it's good. It's very good. I just don't know if I would put it in the high bracket of it's not God of War.
Everyone talking about this is doing this. What you're doing now.
What?
Hesitating.
Yeah.
It's a lot of it. No, it is. It's hesitant. Yes. Is Spider-Man good? Yeah. Is Spider-Man great? Hesitant. Yes.
The hesitancy is purely off the back of the reviews, because if there weren't any reviews, I would just be saying this is great. This is good. But because the reviews come out and they're so strong, I'm
the bar was set so high.
Yeah, I'm kind of like...
They're like God of War levels.
Well, God of War's like 94 or something, isn't it?
Oh, is it?
Yeah, big.
God of War's up there.
I'll tell you what, it's the level of Horizon Zero Dawn. And I know you guys think a bit differently. You think a bit differently about it than I do, but I really, really rated Horizon Zero Dawn. This is almost got that level of polish, but it hasn't got the same. Horizon Zero Dawn did the taking out robots with a bow and arrow thing, which is pretty unique. Mm-hmm. This has got web swinging, which is pretty unique. So they've both got these kind of ideas in there that are pretty unique, and they're both pretty generic open world games otherwise. But I don't know. There's something about Horizon Zero Dawn just in terms of like the world building and stuff like that, and it was so alien and stuff. Just having robotic dinosaurs around. Prehistory.
And kind of new.
I was really into it. So this, I think, is just an excellent superhero game.
Mm-hmm. Definitely.
And but I just don't. I don't put it in Game of the Year contention. I don't think it's as simple as that so far, anyway.
And do you think that when you do play games that you love, straight away, sort of thing?
Oh yeah. Oh man. Yeah.
You can tell because I'm like that as well. I'm quite impulsive. And it normally ends up being I don't often change my mind. If I love a game in the first 5 hours.
Yeah. Well, I've played this for about 4 hours, if not more, and I've watched you guys playing it here as well this morning a little bit, and I know how I feel about it, and I will be surprised if it changes because a lot. But so far, it's just very, very competent. It's very good. What have you made of the story and stuff so far?
So I'm not too far into the story. I've mainly been doing all the checklisty open world stuff, like the towers and collectibles, and just because I don't know. That's how I play open world games. I just try and get all that done first for some reason. But the story has been sort of kind of I suppose I haven't gotten to the major story beats yet, but so far it's been kind of like day in the life of type of stuff.
I actually love that. I actually love the kind of the how low stakes it is to begin with anyway. It starts off with a big heist.
It starts off quite big, yeah. So the tutorial area is taking down Wilson Fisk, also known as Kingpin, big Marvel villain, big Spider-Man villain, Daredevil as well.
And you're basically in a tower block, right? And you're going up.
Yeah, there's lots of explosions, lots of soldiers shooting at Spider-Man and stuff like that.
It's great. It's a good opening.
It's a very cinematic, bombastic opening.
Yeah.
But then it kind of takes a bit more of a...
It slows down.
Yeah. I heard, that a lot of it is Peter Parker focused, which is interesting.
Well, like a surprising amount, actually.
Because, I played Spider-Man 2000 recently, and that's all Spider-Man.
All Spider-Man all
you know
the time.
What I mean? Yeah. And even the cutscenes are like, Spider-Man needs to stop this. So obviously every game wants a little nice, so especially Sony, they seem to be publishing a lot of games with these moments and a lot of more intimate, I suppose it is, isn't it? Really, And Peter Parker's story is getting just as good reviews as the Spider-Man bits in it. Yeah. People aren't saying it lulls, which you'd think it would, because Peter Parker is just a human being like us. We can't death drop from Empire State, well, can we? But no, they're saying Peter Parker's no less great than Spider-Man, and he's just a normal guy.
Well, a few people have picked up on this, and I don't know if you appreciate this as well, Liam, but I really like the fact that he's already fully established Spider-Man.
Yeah.
He's not no origin story. He's living in his own apartment.
Yeah.
He's trying to make a bit of money. He's got stuff to do. I mean, I really like that.
They certainly hint at it, through dialogue and stuff as well. It's not like a big opening title screen where it's flash forward or flash back or anything.
Yeah.
Just 8 years ago you were doing this and stuff like that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's you go into it and Spider-Man, everyone knows who he is. It's not like he's just starting out. It's everybody knows who he is.
Yeah.
People know he's the protector of New York and all that.
People want the NPCs on the city streets. It's so good, man. They want photos with you. Some of them hate you. Some of them really like you. Some of them applaud you when you help them out in the little side missions, which happen the dynamic kind of crime events and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you jump in and you solve one of them, they'll thank you and say, I mean, I knew you were a good guy. I knew that, I don't listen to J. Jonah Jameson because J. Jonah Jameson is obviously the editor of the Daily Bugle.
So every so often when you go around, instead of a radio, you get his little podcast type thing popping up. And you listen, and he brings, you'll do a side mission helping someone out. I did this mission where someone was pretending to be Spider-Man, got himself in trouble, and you have to go save him. And then just going around the city, J. Jonah Jameson's podcast came on, and he got that guy who was being the fake Spider-Man on to say how Spider-Man ruined his life.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
It's lots of little dynamic stuff like that, where an NPC you've come across in the world, will appear on J. Jonah Jameson's show, and
That's
talk
good.
about his their running
cool,
with you.
man.
That's
It's
really cool.
stuff.
I've not heard anyone talk about that, and that's the sort of little details I like. Because games like this, all open world games, they always do well when they've got something on in the background, bit of music and that.
Yeah.
We were talking about that last podcast about Red Dead Redemption, and you said that about there's loads of travelling in Rockstar games, but you've only got the radio. And I was thinking about how important that actually is. Fallout. What's that without the soundtrack? So with Spider-Man, to have something like that on, and it's like in. What's it? Like in Sleeping Dogs, you've got this radio as well, but there's other games where it'll mention stuff like Three Dog. That's what I was thinking of from Fallout. We'll talk about what happens in the game, and so to have that in there, that's very, very interesting.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really nicely done.
It's just a nice little touch.
Yeah, it really, and that's the exact thing. That's the best thing about the game, I think, so far. On a technical level, there's some things that are really good about it that I'm really happy with. But mainly, it's that kind of the little level, the level of detail. Like when you fast travel, you see Spider-Man on the subway or whatever, looking at his phone and shit like that. And he's like, or he's sat with someone else, who's in cosplay as Spider-Man, and he's just sat there having a chat with him. And it's like those are the fast travel load screens, which is just great. And then there's the level of detail is really good on a design point of view, because there's like Easter eggs everywhere and stuff. Especially,
lots of Marvel Easter eggs.
Yeah, like the Jessica Jones thing that you were saying.
Yeah, so like there's landmarks that you can take pictures of, and they're just like a collectible type thing, but they're all of stuff from the Marvel universe, like Jessica Jones's private eye office or the gym that Daredevil trains at and stuff like that.
Yeah, so it's full of that kind of, I don't want to say fan service. It's just detail. It's just
little
like
nods.
Yeah, it's like they've finished the game and they're filling New York. Like the building is there. We might as well put something cool there. Or they know the layout of the city, and where they want all these buildings to be, and they just put effort in where it counts.
Yeah. So if you're a Marvel fan and you know like how the world layout or the New York layout of Marvel's New York is. If you go to that place in Spider-Man, there's a good chance whatever you were looking for will be there. If you're looking for Doctor Strange's Sanctum Sanctorum, it is in there. Yeah. If you go find it.
Which is ace, right? And I'm not a massive Marvel fan or anything in particular, but I just like that attention to detail. And when you design an open world and you do a thorough job of it, it really shows for me. It makes a lot of difference. Like when you're swinging through, like the opening level stuff is like you're following, I think, a helicopter, and then you're following a helicopter through the city streets, and then you kind of, when you're swinging through, you kind of, for the first time, you notice the pedestrians walking along and the cars and stuff, and suddenly there's like a fleet of police cars because the police cars are going in the same direction as you, and all this stuff really adds to it. The music is excellent as well when you're swinging down from.
The dynamic music.
It's just so good. It's just so good.
It'll be complete silence if you stood on the top of a building. As soon as you swing off it, the music kicks in.
It just kind of fades up and then and it gives you like this Spider-Man theme kind of thing, and it's really good. It's really good. The combat is nice, isn't it? The combat,
it's not as Arkham-y as I expected it to be.
For
me, there seems to be a lot more use of like the gadgets, like the web shooters. Like in Batman, you could pretty much just use punch, counter, punch, dodge. Whereas in Spider-Man, I find myself a lot more reliant on using the gadgets.
Okay.
Well, that's just my personal...
Perhaps you're further in than I am. That's the difference there. But for me, so far, it's been punching. And there's a lot like the nuance is in that there's contextual, if you hold L1 and R1, there's contextual items like bins and stuff that you can grab, bags of cement, which I really like, and you can just grab them, spin them around, and then
the good one is if people throw like flash grenades at you can just chuck them right back at them.
That's right. But then that's where the Arkham comparison is strong for me, because like the flash grenades are exactly the same as what happens in even the sound is the same thing. But it's very good. It's very fast, very fluid. It feels a bit better than Arkham, to be honest, which I guess you would hope, because it's a game that's come to, when was Arkham Knight? Like 2016, 2015?
2015, I think.
So it's been a few years. So it makes more sense with Spider-Man because he's such a bouncy kind of athletic character, and the webs.
It's probably worth it. There's more control required in Spider-Man.
Yeah.
Like when in Arkham, when you just hit and punch, you kind of like zoom about the map. Whatever. But in Spider-Man, you have to like manually zip to your next target, stuff like that.
Yeah, so the triangle button is you either launch yourself at them, or you pull them.
Or you can drag them into you.
That's right.
There's a bit more manual control in Spider-Man.
It's really good. I really like it. The skill trees are pretty cool as well in terms of adding stuff, moves and stuff. It really does add to it. Stealth options are pretty cool as well.
Yeah, stealth is probably the most Arkhamish I've seen it, because it's like very, perch on top of a ledge, drag them up, knock them out, and just like sort of leave them tied up there and stuff like that. Yeah, and like it's got very similar where you press triangle to like jump down and do that like flying takedown on them. It's kind of similar in the stealth, but it's got its own unique, like you can
spin on it, it's webs.
But you can like web enemies to the wall, and then people will go investigate it, and they'll be like, "Hey, what's happened there?" And you can drop down and take them out.
Again, though, kind of makes more sense for Spider-Man to be up high, stringing people up with webs and that, and the combat, like you were saying. Then it just, even though Arkham did it first, it makes sense for Spider-Man to do it. Like, it would be I feel like if they did anything different than what they're doing, it would be because they were trying to actively distance themselves from Arkham. That's true, and you shouldn't compromise on what Spider-Man is just to try and not be like Arkham, which it's not just you guys that think that it's like Arkham, right? I mean, I was watching you play it, and that like classic Arkham thing where you want to get to the back of somebody, you put your hands on their shoulders and flip over them. That's in there and all that, and you can't help but notice it. But at the same time, you can explain it away so easily by the fact that he is an agile superhero compared to Batman. Batman got no need to be flipping around people. When's Batman flipping over people? He's not. He's kicking them and he's bataranging them. He's not flipping over people.
No, that's true. And
Batman's like a tank.
Yeah, exactly. He's stacked, man. He's Henry Cavill's new Batman.
Stop casting Henry Cavill.
All right, sorry.
But Batman is he's like, when Batman throws an uppercut, he kind of holds it. He's like, bang, and then the game like slows down and it shows you the uppercut. But in Spider-Man, it's like you're already doing a backflip out of there after you've done it, or you're jumping up in the air to batter him in the air after you've done it. So the combat is excellent. I mean, overall, the world design and stuff is just incredible. Yeah, I really like it. I mean, I really like the fact that towers and stuff. I hate towers. I hate Ubisoft open world towers. In this, you're already up in the skyscrapers. You're not climbing them. You're just going to them, and it makes complete sense. I'm totally fine with the towers in this. The first time I heard about it, I was rolling my eyes all over the place. That is how I react to stuff. Yeah. But with this, I was just when I started playing it, it's completely fine. I mean, I'm into it. All it is a reason for you to web swing to a building, and that's all you need in this game to be fun, is to have a reason to go somewhere.
Give me a goddamn reason to use
exactly, because the web slinging is just terrific. Like the way they've animated it and stuff is just that's what the game is built around completely. Like if they mess that up, the rest of the game falls down. But this it's just perfect. It's just
almost
perfect.
got this like I love the momentum idea of
so
it.
fast.
It's just as important to time the let go, like time the release of the web.
Yeah,
and then because in like the older games, you just hold the web button. It's like in Assassin's Creed, you've got like the parkour button, and there's no reason for you to let go. But this gives you a reason to time it, and you start off at some speed and you end up going faster and faster. From what I was playing of it, and now you can do tricks and stuff. You got a little pointometer. Yeah.
If you press X at some point in the jump as well, he jumps forward, like launches himself forward a little bit, and then you can press X again to web yourself forward and like pull yourself along. Very fluid, very well thought out, well designed. I just think it's all round a very good game. It's a very good game. If you're not a fan of Spider-Man, you're not going to enjoy it. The game is called Spider-Man. But it's I don't know. It's just a very complete superhero game. It's
refreshing as well, because we haven't had a good Spider-Man game for quite a while.
No, I mean in terms of pure superhero games as well, you don't really get that many of them, do you?
No, I can't. What was the last superhero game? Was it just Batman?
Yeah, I guess so. Arkham Knight. But then, do you count? Because a lot of games give you superhero-like powers or superhero-ish
Infamous
powers.
and Prototype. And
exactly. So I guess Infamous was a pretty recent one, but it's. I mean, it's much better than Infamous. That's all.
Spider-Man, much better
than Infamous.
It's better than Infamous.
So let's leave it there, I guess. So that's our discussion about Spider-Man, unless you guys have got anything else you want to
add. No, just as a Marvel fan, it's almost dream come true material.
Yeah, the tone is really nice as well, isn't it? Just the overall tone. Like we were saying, it just makes sense. Like it makes sense that you would just stop what you're doing because Spider-Man is like compelled to do good. Yeah. And he would just stop whatever he's doing to stop a mugging. Or even in a lot of it, it's just like a car crash. and you have to just pull the people out of the car crash.
Just a car crash.
No, but you know,
Just a bloody car crash.
Sometimes there's like thugs who cause the crash, and they're still there on the scene.
Plot
So
twist.
you have to batter them and then rescue the people.
But yeah, you just see like a wreckage in the road or something that isn't related to beating someone up, is what I'm saying. And you just have to use your spidey senses, find where they are, pull the wreckage away, and free them. And there's a bit of God of War button mashing and stuff in there.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, it's a very nice game. I mean, I can think of no reason not to buy it if you're into superheroes or Marvel or Spider-Man. I'll put it that way. So what's coming up this week? What's the new games that are coming out this week? There are actually a few. So I was looking at new releases that are coming out. So this podcast goes out every Monday. So there's games usually on a Tuesday, Thursday, and a Friday, I guess.
They're like the big days, yeah.
Well, this is a big week for the Switch, first of all. First of all is, my pick of the bunch anyway, is Wasteland 2, which is coming on September the 13th, Thursday. Yes, it's going to be about 20 quid, 22 quid or something
Classic
like that.
CRPG.
Yeah. It's, Wasteland, so it's new, it was funded through Kickstarter or Fig or one of these things, and it was it came out like 2000 I'm going to get this dead wrong, but like 2013 or something like that.
Yeah. A few years
2014
ago,
possibly. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it was a few years ago. So then they came out with a director's cut, and it's PC exclusive. Then they came out with a director's cut. The director's cut is now on like PlayStation and whatnot. And now it's coming to the Switch, which is a perfect fit. We've been talking about Divinity Original Sin 2 this week, and it's a very similar experience in terms of the structure of the game. It's a CRPG. It's got turn-based combat. It's almost more XCOM-like though, because there's cover, there's mid cover and full cover, exactly like XCOM. You've got melee characters, but all your characters could be firearm kind of players if you want. It's a very good Fallout kind of classic Fallout kind of experience. It's from the people who produced Fallout originally, actually.
1 and 2, that's
got some chops. Yes, pre-Bethesda Fallout from the 90s. It's just strongly recommended if you're looking for a long kind of CRPG experience on the Switch. Turn-based combat is just really good in it. Good story, good CRPG experience. You can control a party of 4, and I think later on it's like you can grow it to like 5 or something like that.
Okay.
But I can't quite remember. But I completed it, and it was a really good time, and I'm definitely looking forward to playing it on the Switch. It just makes complete sense. So that's my pick of the week. But then you've also got Bastion, which is coming out the same day.
Very good game.
Anyone know about Bastion? Do you guys want to talk about Bastion?
Who doesn't know about Bastion at this point?
That sounds like Liam.
There you go. It's the game that puts Supergiant Games on the map, I guess.
Yeah, it's a little top-down isometric action RPG made by Supergiant Games, the little indie studio, famed for having its sort of dynamic narrator type thing going on. The guy with the amazing voice. You just narrates everything you do. Generally awesome audio design all around though. Yeah, great music. Yeah. Great visuals. Good combat. Multiple endings to the story. Multiple pathways. Yes. It's a very good game. And so that's coming out on September the 13th as well, which is the same day as Wasteland. And that's a bit cheaper. That's about 13, 14, 15 quid. Something like that. And it is kind of the predecessor to one of my favourite indie games ever, Transistor, which is the same studio. Transistor is coming as well, but not this week. That's in like November sometime. I actually prefer Transistor to Bastion. Me too, yeah. Transistor. I love Transistor.
That seems to be the general consensus. Pyre, Bastion, and Transistor at the top.
So Pyre was their third game, the most recent one, which was like last year. I still haven't played that. I think it was last year. Say it out. I mean, it's not. If it comes to the Switch, possibly. I would say if it comes to the Switch,
why don't we just bundle all of them up and put them in as a bundle?
Switch bundle.
Yeah.
The Supergiant Games pack.
Yeah. It would make sense. So Bastion, maybe if Bastion does well, they'll look at bringing the Pyre.
And Transistor is definitely coming in as well, so I don't see why not.
That's a one to add if you're into collecting like famed indies, like you've got Limbo and all that now, and now Bastion. Another proper indie smash that wasn't it? So
yeah, cool. Exactly. So that's September the 13th as well. And then we've got on the September the 10th, Dust and Elysian Tale. It's another Switch release. Did either of you guys play that? I did. I played that when it came to PC. That was do you remember when Xbox Live used to do like the Summer of Arcade thing? Yes. That was one of their big like premiere indie games on it. Any good? It's like a little Metroidvania type game. Yeah. But with lots of anthropomorphic. Like the humanized animals. That because I can't speak properly. But anthropomorphic. It's a hard one. Just on hard words now. We are. It's that though, isn't it?
Side-scrolly sort of stuff.
It's a good little side-scrolling Metroidvania type game.
Yeah. I think that they've fucking made a bit of an error releasing so close to Hollow Knight and Dead Cells.
Yeah.
You've got two of the best examples of Metroidvania ever on your on the Switch. And
I wouldn't say it's as good as Hollow Knight.
No, and Dead Cells is like
I've not played Dead Cells, so I wouldn't know.
You know, it's not as good as Hollow Knight, and it's certainly not as good as Dead Cells. But I played it on. It was a PlayStation Plus game, like
quite a while
3
ago.
years
I've got it on PS Plus. I've never played it.
And I played it a bit, but I didn't really enjoy it and turned it off. And I tried, and I quite like my little indie games. Like that.
Yeah.
It's actually getting good reviews, but I just couldn't really sit through it, you know. And the thing is, though, Hollow Knight got very good reviews on Switch. Dead Cells has done big things on the Switch. Yeah. So
maybe
it's a risk, but hopefully if you're into that, if you play Dead Cells and Hollow Knight and you want to play another game like it,
exactly, it might inspire a kind of taste in someone to go get a new one.
It's definitely one of the better Metroidvania games.
Yeah, it's by all means polished, and I hope what I said then doesn't seem too negative, because it's definitely not. I'm just saying the competition for it is so flipping
fiery.
Two quite recent releases, so you might get fatigued, but you play it, it's worth it.
So we've got Frozen Synapse 2, which is coming to PC, Linux and Mac on September the 13th. Again, busy day September the 13th. So Frozen Synapse, I don't know if either of you guys played that. It's kind of a turn-based tactical kind of game.
I've heard of it, but I've not played it.
It's one of these games that feels like it's always in a humble bundle. Do you know what I mean? But it was like from what I could tell, I've not played it myself. From what I could tell, it's pretty good. I've watched a bit of gameplay before writing this down, and it seems okay. So Frozen Synapse 2 is the sequel, and that's the sequel to the 2011 original. So it has been a while since the last one, and that'll be on PC, Linux, and Mac on September the 13th. There's a lot of defense type tactics building. It's not quite tower defense, I would say. Quite complicated. Just look at some gameplay and you'll get a sense of what that's like. The big one for this week is Shadow of the Tomb Raider, which is coming to PC, PS4 and Xbox One on September the 14th. Liam, sounds like you're getting that from the way you said yep.
I'm looking forward to it because I really enjoyed this Tomb Raider reboot series.
Okay.
First one is still the best, I think. Rise of the Tomb Raider was good, but overdid it a bit with the collectibles and stuff like that. So I'm definitely, and they say this is the final one, so it's going to be like a trilogy.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to seeing what they do with it.
It's like the Planet of the Apes cinematic reboot. It's like they're just like Planet of the Apes. Rise off, dawn off, shadow off, rise off. Do you know what I mean? No numbers, but they're basically a trilogy and a bit of a reboot, which is pretty funny.
What's interesting is it's not being developed by Crystal Dynamics this time. It's being made by Eidos Montreal, who made Thingy, Human Revolution, Mankind Divided.
Yeah.
So with two games I'm a big fan of.
Deus Ex
so
games,
I'm looking forward to see what they bring to Tomb Raider.
Stealth and cybernetic implants.
Well,
that would be interesting.
Wall punching
as Lara Croft.
Yeah.
Why not?
Can't solve the tomb. Punch it. It's
get Henry Cavill to play Lara Croft.
Punch of the tomb.
Right,
that's funny.
The two reboots before it have been good.
Yeah.
I don't see why this one won't be.
I actually didn't play any of the previous. I thought the reboot was Tomb Raider on the Xbox 360. But no, there was another one with a bow and arrow.
Which one? What year was that?
Do you mean
2007?
Oh right, yeah.
It was just. I think that was called Tomb Raider.
The first reboot did come out on 360.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
PS3,
and it was like 2013. Or something.
Yeah, that was just called Tomb Raider. That one.
Yeah.
I didn't play that one. That's with the bow and arrow one.
Yes,
that is the bow and arrow.
No, there was another Tomb Raider before that on the 360.
It was like Underworld or something.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
Yes,
I played a bit of that one,
and I thought that was it. So I actually found out that I hadn't played any of these.
Well,
I'm up for a bit of Tomb Raider, man.
They're good.
Give it a spin.
I've kind of backseat played it a little bit because Laura played a little bit of it, and she wasn't too fussed about it. Like the second one, so that would be Rise of the Tomb.
So they're kind of a bit Uncharted-y.
Yeah, well, that's
a bit more involved.
I didn't want to say it.
I would say they are more involved than Uncharted. There's more, it's not just going from point A to point B.
Yes,
there's like
semi-open areas.
Yeah, it was like exploration, of course, like solving puzzles in the tombs and stuff like that, and collectibles. Like galore.
This one has semi-open areas, side missions, challenge tombs, which tombs aren't a challenge.
I think they were in the last one. They were like timed. I think.
Okay, and it's other than that, it is a game about running, jumping, shooting, and climbing, which is a lot like Uncharted. So if you're
Which
into
was
that,
a lot like Tomb Raider.
which was a lot like Tomb
Which is
Raider,
weird now
which
how
is
that's
now
happened.
a lot like Uncharted.
I'm confident it'll be good.
Yeah.
yeah.
It's definitely the biggest release.
Yeah.
And could be a big event.
Yeah, I mean, it's a difficult one because it's kind of there's a lot of big games. This is a busy autumn. This is a busy, especially for third person open world. Yeah, so
with RPG elements.
Yeah, so hopefully it does well and it shifts some copies and people, and it's a good game. But more than anything, hopefully that kind of all pans out. And Liam, sounds like you're picking it up.
Yeah.
Regardless.
I want to round out the trilogy. Yeah. Why not?
Cool. And then we've got NHL 19 and NBA 2K19, which I didn't check the dates or platforms for.
Just trust him, okay? They're coming out.
Because, I mean, I can't do it.
Buy them.
Yeah, there's a hockey game and a basketball game. So my pick from the bunch there, if I had to pick one of them, would be Wasteland 2 on the Switch. If you're a Switch owner, then you need to play that, I think. What about you guys? You got a pick of the bunch there?
Just Tomb Raider.
Tomb Raider for you, Liam.
They're good.
Yeah,
They're good.
Probably
I'm
more
going to pick it
interested
up.
in Tomb Raider because it's actually a new game. Or NHL.
Yeah,
actually.
I mean, for as good as Bastion is, I do already own it and have played it like twice.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to play it again.
I can recommend Bastion, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I'd definitely give it a thumbs up.
And I'd say if you're thinking about getting Dust, maybe just check if you've got Dead Cells first. And if you haven't, get that instead. But if not, get a bit of Dust. And I'm interested in the new Tomb Raider just because it's actually, like I say, not a re-release. It's not a Switch port re-release.
It's a new game, AAA.
And it could be a stomper.
It
could be a stomper.
I reckon it'll be a solid 8.5 out of 10,
That's a big call because Spider-Man's an 8.8.
Look out for Jake Klukowski's book, Blood, Sweat and Stompers. On Amazon very, very
That's a Ray
soon.
Winston movie waiting to happen. That.
Ray Winston, they call me the Stomper. So thanks for listening to the Special Moves podcast. That was episode 3 already. I'm going to be saying that every episode from now on. Can you believe it's episode 7? It's weird though, isn't it? It's weird. I do feel weird that it's episode 3 already. I feel like we've just recorded episode 1.
It was only like a week and
a half ago.
A week and a half, yeah.
Which is 10 days, I
feel like I'm still in channel launch mode. Do you know what I mean? It feels, which we kind of are, I guess, but it just feels a bit weird.
At this point, we're like 8 days old, 9 days old.
We're in the honeymoon period.
Yes.
We're married. Yeah, that's funny.
The scary part's out the way.
Yeah. So we're just
no patron
Barbados
rack
or whatever. Where do people go on honeymoons now? Mexico, I think a lot of people like to go.
Yeah, Mexico's a big one.
It's a big one at the moment, isn't it? Right, well, thanks for listening. We'll have more gaming chat throughout this week. So this podcast goes out on a Monday, so we should have a Divinity Original Sin 2 video coming for you either tomorrow or the day after, which will be Tuesday or Wednesday. So look out for that if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
We've got a Battlefield 5 video that should have just gone out as well, which is based on our impressions of the open beta. We spent a long time chatting about that because we've been playing it a lot, and it's a lot of fun, actually. It's a lot of fun. There's a lot of noise about Battlefield 5 online. Mm-hmm. But it's a good game. There's some good stuff. There's some good stuff.
Have that.
Yeah.
Just have it.
Yeah. So it's if you're yet to try that out, then maybe watch the video and you can get a good sense of what the game is like. And we will have a new It's Friday Tomorrow show on YouTube coming on Thursday, the day before Friday. Thanks for listening. I've been Mike Williams. These guys were Jake Klukowski and Liam McKelvey. Mm-hmm. We'll see you next time.